You know, there's a phrase that's haunted people like me, and possibly like you, for many years. Jack of all trades, master of none. Oh. It's usually flung at someone who dares to be good at more than one thing. Or someone who doesn't quite fit neatly into a single box. Like, heaven forbid you should be strategic and creative. People-focused and commercially minded. The horror! But what I found out recently is that most people don't know the full quote, the original version. I didn't. And this version is the game changer. Most welcome guests, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than master of one. Thank you, I rest my case. This second half, it's the plot twist, the redemption arc, the truth. It reframes the phrase from a slight to a badge of honour. Because what it really says is, there's power in versatility. Now let me take you behind the scenes for a moment. In the 5 years that I've had my business, I've received some very well-meaning advice from marketing experts. And I'm using well-meaning here, the way you might use bless your heart when someone's being a bit of a numpty. People said, you really need to pick a lane. Is it business consulting? Is it neurodiversity? Is it coaching? You'll confuse people otherwise. I thought, great. I've spent my whole life being too much of everything, and now, apparently, I'm doing it professionally as well. But here's the thing. I'm not confused, and neither are the people I work with. In fact, Think Exceptionally came about because I couldn't separate those threads. Business, neurodiversity, coaching, systems thinking, professional speaking, it's all connected. So asking me to focus on one thing is like saying, sure, your brain's great, but could you just switch off half of it? And let's be honest, this idea that we should all narrow ourselves down to one thing is based on an outdated model. The industrial era idea of expertise. One job, one role, one path. But the world we live in now, it rewards the integrators, the dot connectors, those who can zoom out and zoom in, who can hold complexity without falling apart. And let's be real, we've spent our whole lives navigating complexity, both externally and internally. Being a Jack or Jill of all trades doesn't mean you're scattered. It means you're adaptable. It means you've got range. It means your brain can do the equivalent of spinning plates, herding cats, and solving a Rubik's Cube. Sometimes all before lunch. A lot of people use the word holistic to describe the service they offer, but don't always deliver in such a manner. I once had a client say, Lisa genuinely provides a holistic service, which honestly I'd put on a t-shirt if I could get the right font. What they meant was, I bring strategy, structure, empathy, and neurodivergent insight into one space. Because sometimes what makes the biggest difference for a client isn't one big intervention. It's the fact I can switch lenses from business model to mindset to team dynamics, all without breaking stride. That's the power of a well-integrated jack of all trades. You see things specialists miss. And look, I won't sugarcoat it. A lot of us who are neurodivergent have been trained to believe that our broad interests, non-lateral thinking, and tendency to leap between ideas is a flaw, when in fact it's often a strength. We can't always explain how we know what we know. It's just there, connected by 1,000 invisible threads. And while that might look chaotic from the outside, inside it's often deeply strategic and intuitive. So when people ask us to just do one thing, we're not being demand avoidant when we resist, we're being honest. I remember a workshop I once ran. A mix of founders and accidental entrepreneurs. You know, the ones who start a side hustle and suddenly have a VAT number. Partway through, one of them asked me what I actually do, which is code for, I can't pigeonhole you, and that's making me uncomfortable. I smiled and said, I help people and businesses stop trying to be what they're not and start making the most of everything they are. They blinked. Then they grinned. Then they wrote it down. And that's when it clicked. We don't need simpler selves. We need more sophisticated ways of talking about the richness of who we are. So what if we stopped seeing jack of all trades as a cautionary tale and started seeing it as a compliment? What if we said, yes, I'm multi-talented. Yes, I've had more than one career. Yes, I care about people and profit. Yes, I want to coach, consult, and speak. And no, I'm not confused. I'm integrated. What if your unique combination of interests, skills, and identities is exactly what's needed in a world that's crying out for more nuance, not less? Think Exceptionally exists because I think exceptionally, and so do my clients. And I know that my community is full of people who've been told to shrink, simplify, pick one thing. So let me be the first to say, you don't have to choose one thing to be taken seriously. You can be focused and flexible, strategic and empathetic, deep and broad. That's not a flaw, that's the future. So the next time someone tries to box you in, give them your best smile and say, actually, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than master of one. And then walk away like the brilliant, multidimensional legends you are. Thank you.